to work on today is motion. Motion of this, motion of this, motion of all of this in coordination, so that you're not just standing there throwing flat snaps and you're throwing leg shots and you're throwing offside and you're throwing the occasional wraparound. Because the thing that happens obviously in combat, and I'm using right-left again because this is probably the most foreign thing too. Once you've got left-handers, you fight all the time. But for him, this is the most common. For him, the most uncommon is fighting another left. So it's one of those things where every time we move, wherever we're going, right, he's here, and now I'm going to try and use his shield against him. But I had to do it in a motion of my weapon and my body, right? Wherever he puts that, I can find a hole to it. The other deal is it's coming at me, isn't it? So what we're going to do, though, how many of you recognize that for the most part you never throw blows in motion? You know, most of your blows, you're set and you shoot. Mostly, right? I know you won't raise your hand because I know you. But an Octus throws on the move, and a lot of times, if you watch the films of His Grace and Octa, they're both right and left. When you watch them, what they're trying to do is they're moving, trying to get you to do something, right? Octa's sitting up here and he's waiting. You know, he's looking for something, and he'll move this and he'll move stuff. And when you go to figure out what he's doing, it's like, okay, now I'm going to do this. And if you lean forward slightly, it's like a magnet to his sword. Yeah, he finds that slot right there and goes right to it. And you can watch it on the film as to how many times he kills people right in that slot. Right? And all he's done is these little body moves. Conversely, though, you usually find some fighters that you just can't flat out beat. Right? So you actually have to get in there and you actually have to be wrestling with this person, right? So if you're standing here and you're suddenly just always trying to do this or always trying to do that, how are you going to get to him? You're so closely matched in styles that it's just not functioning. Right? So if we can do something here and switch, right, on a body motion to make him see what he thinks is happening. Just like yesterday we were talking about, where's that blow going? You don't know. Because with a body movement, it can be up here, right? And then I want him to swing at this entire open side so I can go here. But it's trained into body motion in conjunction with sword movement. Because the sword likes to move. I mean, just go ahead, swing it around, right? Put it on your shoulder, let it fall off, and you're going to wrap the guy right in the back of the leg. You don't even have to try. It just happens. Physics is our friend. Right? Now when we use the term wraparound, you really need to express to beginners especially that it isn't really this. Alright? When we're throwing headshots, we can throw them from behind us and hit the guy in the back of the head. I don't have to literally wrap around him to do it. So when we're looking at that, can I do this on the move? Well, of course I can. And what can I do after that? Well, if you start going into the endless dance, wherever he goes, I'm going to come at him. But it's with a body movement. I'm not standing here doing this. And I'm not standing in stance and doing nothing but... And why? What did we go over yesterday almost all day that was written on that whiteboard? 5 on 5. This is the part where I was trying to explain to you yesterday where I'm constantly changing your 5 on 5 intentionally. Because if you don't adjust to it, hello, it's hand on you. Okay. So, now with Thorin, okay, we're both right-handed, but the idea is still the same. If I want his shield to move, I want to do something to make him move it. I don't want to throw here, right? And yet, how many of you watched yesterday in the fighting where people were actually literally hitting each other like this? Why? What are those for? Especially when they're standing right in front of His Grace or whoever and they're just doing nothing but that. What's that all about? And then they don't move, right? And you ask them, it's like, why did that blow go in the center of their shield? More times than not, they'll say, don't, I aimed at his head. Because their perception of this is that this is going into his head as long as his shield's not there. Now that's what's so funny, is they know for a fact his shield is in the way, but it's kind of like, I can see his head, so therefore it's a headshot. I can see his head, therefore it's a headshot.
I think a lot of people don't think about the angles of the shield.
Exactly.
As tools to throw the blows. So if I'm standing like this, you can see my head.
Right.
Without thinking about the
There's,
angles that you have to work with.
And there's so... I agree with that. And a lot of it is, too, yesterday I mentioned how many of you fight 3D. Okay? How many of you actually see the back of his grace when you see the front of him, so that you know to do something like this followed by something like that? Right? Applying pressure with a shield. Now, will he stand there? Maybe not. But the deal is if you stand here all the time, I'm pretty sure that his grace has already proven to you that you're going to die. All right? And again, we go back to, because of this class being about motion, where's his grace's kill box? Okay? So by motion, I can go in and out of that box. But the idea is I'm not going to stay there. Right? Why would you literally just want to stay here and duke it out with him? No pun intended. It was good, but that wasn't intentional. Right? And it's like, I don't really want to. Right? So, if you're going to learn to do things on the move, once again, I'm out at sea range, but I can still do things. I can still reach, right? Or it backs up to receive. I step with the other foot and pursue. But a lot of guys do what? They throw one shot and the fight stops. One shot, fight stops. And if their opponent moves, they won't even throw the shot. You know? And all of a sudden, if you watch advanced fighters, they'll use that against you. Right? They'll let you wander in, right? And they'll let you come to, oh, don't even do the trap. Right? You're going to wander in like this thinking, I'm okay because Sagan said the box was over here. so I'm not going into the box, I'm going to go over here. And it's like, all he has to do is shift his foot 6 inches, and you're standing right in the box. And then worse yet, he backs up when you're ready, and you freeze, and you relax. And then all of a sudden, here he comes.
You forget that the box has moved.
Exactly. It's like, well, and the other on-off switch for fighters is the fact that when his grace moved backwards, he's not ready to fight, so you relax. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look at that twitch in that sword arm. And all of a sudden, you know, so when you're fighting is the ultimate goal. And you want to use body motion and sword movement to get the job done. Because you can't, why would you really want to stand there all day long and do nothing but, you know, just bang, right? So if I'm going to work with Octa, I'm going to move this way, and I'm going to come in here, right? If I pin this and grab it, right? Now where? But I have to move. See? You need to move. It's like trying to kill somebody by telling yourself, I only need this shot, and a body shot. Well, that's nice, but don't they're going to move the shield, aren't they? Okay, now then, so we start doing snaps. And when that doesn't work because he's going to move his shield, we do a snap wrap, right? And a snap wrap is nothing but rolling the wrist at the last second. And so then you can place it where you want. Okay? And then you start combining that over here, and you do fades, where your body motion is like taking it into his face. And again, because we made it look like it was going there, and now we're sliding it back and catching right in the face. Conversely, it's on a right-handed person, it's one of those deals where you swoop here and you cut across. Right? And again, you want him to come here because all of a sudden, boom! But you train into those body motions.
Did everybody see that the sword never changed trajectory? The body